Okay, so the first thing I'm going to have you do before we do anything else is to go up to the File menu, File, and do a Save As, and we're going to save as a project. Okay, don't save as a template. It doesn't let you do it as a family, fortunately. And you'll move out of the Lecture 2 folder, and you should see a Lecture 3 folder in your directory. And you are just going to simply change the 2 here to a 3 and hit save. Now I'm going to pause the video, unlock you, let you get caught up, and then we'll keep rolling from there. Okay, so we're back live again, and we're going to try to accomplish several things today. We're going to work on the foundation, we're going to work on topography, we're going to work on things called subregions. We're going to talk about splitting surfaces, pads, all kinds of different elements in topography that maybe you're not as familiar with. So, one of the things we want to do is we realize that we do have a garage here, okay? So, just to make it look a little more garage-like, we're going to go into our level 1, and we're going to put a garage door in here. Now, garage door, and the reason we're doing this is because we have to eventually build something up to this garage door. So we're going to put this in first. So if you go to Insert and you load Family, under there, under Doors, under Residential, I believe there is a garage door. Let me see. Or maybe not. There it is, garage door. So we're going to put that in. Right, and if we go to architecture now and under door, here's this 96, but we're going to make the big one. We're going to go 192. We're going to do a double, right? So we have a nice large overhead door, and we can put it about right there in the middle, okay? So now if we go back out to our 3D view, we see we have a nice garage door. Now, I say all that because eventually we want to bring something to that garage door. But first, what we want to do is we want to put a surface down. And the way we're going to put that surface down is by going to this site plan that you see here over to the side. Most of you probably don't work with them that much. You work in plan, elevation a lot. But if we go over to this site plan, you see now that the site has a different scale to it. And those datums look larger. So we can go about doing some things right now. We don't need to see a lot of these items. Like for instance, these datums, they're not helping us in this particular plan. It's way too small. So I'm going to click on one of them, right click, and go hide in view category, and they're going to go away. Also notice that my detail level is back to coarse. I'm going to change it to fine, and I'm also going to change this right now to shaded. Now, the reason I'm going to do that is so that we can see something once we start to lay it down, and that's the actual topography that we're going to have. Now, one of the things I also want you to realize is that in site, whereas on a level 1 plan like this, if you look at the view range, remember we talked about that, our view range is 7'6", it's cut at 4, and the bottom of it's at 0, and then the view depth is the same level. However, if we go over to our site plan, notice that the view range on the site plan is at 200 feet. So you're hovering at about 200 feet above the ground looking down at this plan. So unless you're building a skyscraper, which we're not today, you shouldn't be cutting into anything. You also see the cut plane is also at 200 feet. Now you can adjust those numbers, but you're not going to need to for what we are doing, okay? So I'm going to hit OK. And I'm going to go over to this tab that's called Massing and Site, and I'm going to click on it. And on this, there's a command called Topo Surface, and it's going to allow us to create earth or dirt, more or less, on our property so that our house is grounded to something and that we could go through some other exercises later. So I'm going to click on Topo Surface, and the first thing I'm going to notice is that I'm in the command. It's called Place Point. And by placing points at certain elevations that you see over here, we're going to get a topo surface. Now we're going to treat the front of our property. We're going to go through this really simply because this could be a lot more complicated. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place a point somewhere arbitrarily, approximately where you see me doing it now. Now I can hit escape, and then so that that point is right across from the other, what I can do is I can copy that point, and I can copy it from here maybe about let's call it 150 feet away. And I'm just entering 150 space 0. That's 150 feet. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab those and I'm going to kind of center them up here. Then I'm going to place another point. And I'm going to place a point. You see how these don't snap to one another right now? In order to get those points even so I have a nice square, I'm going to draw a window around those and I'm going to copy these from here and I'm going to go back another 150 space 0 feet, right? And now you see I have what? It drew a surface, okay? I'm simply going to save this and I'm going to have you repeat this before we go on to the next video, okay?